Did you know that in the 1990s, Disneyland planned to completely overhaul and re-theme Tomorrowland? Although the re-theme never happened, there are still some remnants of the unbuilt Tomorrowland. And today, we're gonna go check them out. Let's start off with a little Tomorrowland history first. In the 1990s, Tomorrowland was looking extremely outdated, so Disney came up with an idea that would keep Tomorrowland from aging so quickly. The new version of Tomorrowland would be a cross between Disneyland Paris Discoveryland and an alien spaceport set in the year 2055, giving the project the name of Tomorrowland 2055. But due to the failure of Disneyland Paris, the Tomorrowland 2055 expansion never happened, and they went with the cheaper option where they painted everything brown and closed the greatest ride of all time. In 1995, the PeopleMover closed down and was replaced with the infamous Rocket Rods, which was basically a high-speed version of the PeopleMover. The only problem was that the line was 10 hours long because the ride would constantly break down. The queue for the Rocket Rods was housed inside the old Circle Vision 360 theater. It would make its way through the theater and through an underground tunnel that led up to the PeopleMover track. In the year 2000, the Rocket Rods closed for a lengthy refurbishment, but spoiler alert, the ride never opened again and it was replaced with Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. One thing from the Rocket Rods still remains, and it's the underground tunnel that leads to the PeopleMover. Back before everything was IP related, this used to be known as the Premiere Shop, and it was also the exit for the Rocket Rods, which means somewhere hidden inside this gift shop is the entrance to the underground tunnel. Now, I can't figure out exactly what door was the old Rocket Rods exit, but I believe it was this one right here. And the old Rocket Rods exit isn't the only secret inside the Little Green Men Store Command. This rocket ship is an old ride vehicle from the Rocket Jets attraction, which used to be on top of the PeopleMover platform. Not only that, but this rocket ship was inside the Rocket Rods queue alongside a monorail car as well as some PeopleMover cars. This is actually a ride vehicle from the old Rocket Jets attraction. The guests would have sat right inside where Mr. Incredible is now and these other Pixar characters. And believe it or not, there are actually two of these vehicles inside this one gift shop. There's the other Rocket Jet vehicle in all of its glory. Well, all of its Space Ranger glory, since it has been repainted. It used to be white. If we get in real close, you can see the original handle you would have grabbed on just like this while flying your rocket jet. And if we look up at the top, you can see the original speakers from the attraction. Now, this is no longer functioning as a ride vehicle. It's more or less used as a shelf for backpacks as well as soccer balls. And the old Rocket Jets car isn't the only attraction vehicle in this gift shop. This gift shop is just chock full of old Tomorrowland secrets. If we take a look over at the checkout counter, we might notice that the actual checkout counter is made of old PeopleMover cars. You heard me right. The checkout counter is made of old PeopleMover cars. Let's go in for a closer look at these PeopleMover cars. These right here, these are the doors of the PeopleMover. If we bend down, you can see one of the original lights that was on the side of the PeopleMover car. If we look inside, you can see the hole where the electrical wires would have come out to connect to the light bulb. But here is the entire counter made of original PeopleMover cars. This is really cool because, as many of you know, the PeopleMover is no longer here at Disneyland, but you can still visit these cars inside the Little Green Men Store Command. Here's a close-up view of the PeopleMover loading platform. Guests would have traveled along this track all around Tomorrowland. The track actually stretches all the way down to the entrance of Tomorrowland, and it's absolutely crazy that after all these years, it's still here. This dark, creepy tunnel is the PeopleMover's entrance into the Star Tours show building. If we zoom in real close, you can really see how rusted and beat up the old PeopleMover track is. I would love to climb up in there and go for a walk around the PeopleMover track. After leaving the Star Tours queue area, the PeopleMover would have traveled right where you see the silhouettes of the Star Tours passengers walking. Right behind that effect is the old PeopleMover track, and if memory serves me correctly, the PeopleMover would have traveled right through this area, gone that way, and headed inside Space Mountain. Here's another piece of the PeopleMover track inside the Space Mountain queue area right above our heads is where the PeopleMover would have traveled. After leaving Space Mountain, the PeopleMover would have traveled along this track and went inside the Carousel of Progress Theater. It would have traveled along the back of the theater and then continued its grand circle tour of Tomorrowland. This building used to house Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress, and on the top floor Walt's model of Progress City. It has since been turned into a Star Wars exhibit, but back in the day, this was going to be P.T. Quantum's Alien Review, which was basically like an alien musical show. But as we all know, that never got built and Innoventions went in this building, and now it's Star Wars. Another remnant of the old Tomorrowland is actually inside Space Mountain, more specifically the queue for Space Mountain as well as the restrooms at the exit. Believe it or not, inside the Space Mountain queue and restrooms, they still play the original soundtrack that was made for Tomorrowland 2055. Since the Space Mountain queue is extremely loud, and I'm not going to be a total weirdo and go film inside the bathrooms, you can go on YouTube and just look up Tomorrowland 2055 soundtrack and you can hear the exact audio that plays inside Space Mountain. One pretty obvious thing that's left over from the old Tomorrowland is everything that's painted copper and bronze. A lot of it has been covered up in recent years, but if you know where to look, there are still some things left over that are painted like that. Speaking of things that are painted bronze, this giant piece of bronze machinery was known as the Orbitron, and it used to spin around, and that actually used to be the Starjets ride, but now it literally just sits there and does nothing. Back in the day, it was going to be part of a whole Tomorrowland 2055 show and parade. It was going to have flashing lights, it was going to spin around and do all this cool stuff, but now it just sits up there doing nothing. These rocks out here by the Astro Orbiter were originally supposed to be giant crystals left behind by an alien race. But like most things in Tomorrowland, they just got painted brown and became some boring old space rocks. One of the biggest pieces left over from the Tomorrowland 2055 refurbishment is over here at the Tomorrowland Terrace. If you're eating outside at Disneyland, you most likely want to sit in the shade, so why not sit under this awning? And the mural on this awning is actually left over from the unbuilt Tomorrowland. This mural was actually used to test out paint patterns and color schemes that were going to be used all throughout Tomorrowland 2055. It's crazy to think that such a simple mural at Disneyland has so much significance. This is the only surviving remnant of Tomorrowland 2055 that was actually built. All these guests sitting here eating probably have no idea that this is a remnant of an unbuilt land. They probably just think it's part of the Tomorrowland theming, when in reality, it's a hint at what could have been. The fact that this mural even exists just goes to show you how close Tomorrowland 2055 was to becoming a reality. Thank you so much for joining us as we went and hunted down the remnants of the unbuilt Tomorrowland 2055. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to see more adventures from Disneyland as well as Disneyland secrets, make sure to hit the subscribe button.
My name is Ben Lawrence. I'm gonna rock you at least once a week.